I built a side hustle from scratch and scaled it to over $500,000 in 1 year while working full-time. And today, I'll show you what that side hustle is and how you could maybe do it too. A year ago, I was barely making enough to provide for my family. Bills were stacking up, we had no savings, no security. Honestly, we were just barely scraping by. And every day it felt like I was one bad break away from everything crumbling around me. I was desperate for extra income and had tried everything. Nothing worked, I was getting frustrated. Then one night after finishing up a stream, because yes, I was one of those Twitch streamers who thought that they'd make it, I was with a friend and his mic sounded absolutely terrible. Every time we spoke, the static made my ears feel like they were bleeding, and it was honestly driving me insane. Later that night, I randomly saw a video on TikTok about applying for free samples of products, and one of them was a microphone, so I figured, why not? I applied, got it, and then TikTok sent me a notification that said, you need to make a video about the product to keep it. So I recorded something quick once I got the microphone and posted it. The next morning, I woke up to 1 million views. But more importantly, I saw my TikTok dashboard and saw a payment of $2,000. I was so shocked that I thought TikTok had actually made some kind of mistake. I even messaged them, but they said, no, this was my affiliate commission. I had no idea people actually watched the video, liked the product, and then bought it. And even though I was only making about $2 per mic that was sold, because 1 million people saw the video, over 1,000 people bought the product. At first, I thought that this had to be a scam or maybe just a fad or a fluke, but I eventually realized I was taking advantage of the TikTok Shop affiliate program. You see, there's two ways to make money with TikTok. The first, directly from TikTok themselves for posting videos on the platform. TikTok, to their creator program, pay anywhere from 40 cents to $1 per 1,000 views. So if you got 100,000 views, you'd get about $100. Then there's the second way, which in my opinion is way more reliable and has better odds of making money, TikTok Shop affiliate. The way that TikTok Shop affiliate works is there are brands that are selling products on TikTok through the tab that says shop. Viewers of those videos can go on and buy those products directly from the video themselves. They don't ever need to leave the app. And if you're the person that made that video, that made them purchase, you get a commission of every single sale. It's a win-win for the brands because they don't have to go push out bigger commercials or do massive ad spend. It's a win for the creators because they can finally monetize their creativity. And it's a win for TikTok because people don't have to leave the app to be able to purchase something. And that is really the power of the TikTok Shop affiliate program. Whenever I tell people how I got started with the TikTok Shop affiliate program, they all ask me why. Why'd I even try it when all these other side hustles and businesses that I'd done had failed? What actually made me want to give this a shot is because just because I'd failed before doesn't mean I wasn't going to try again and again and again. I've probably failed more businesses than the average person will start in their life. And this one was awesome because I accidentally fell into it. I got a microphone for my friend because I could not stand the way that his mic sounded when we were playing games on live stream anymore. And I thought to myself that if making $2,000 from one video was possible, what could I do if I really put my mind to this? You see, every other model of trying to make money online requires a bunch of money up front. I tried to do drop shipping, I tried to do ClickFunnels, etc., 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 and all of them required me to jump into it with a lot of money up front. This one I accidentally fell into. You probably have a bunch of products around your house right now that you don't realize are already on TikTok Shop that if you just made videos about and it happened to take off, you could make sales on it today. So you could call it hard-headed or maybe say that I have perseverance, but either way, I just continued trying to make things work and initially started out researching how this entire process of TikTok Shop affiliate actually works. And just then, when I thought things couldn't be worse, one of the worst moments of my life happened. In February 2024, my daughter was rushed to the hospital. You see, my daughter's hospitalization changed everything. And if you're watching this, just know she's fine now, but it is every parent's worst nightmare, and I hope if you're watching this, you never have to experience it ever. What started off with what seemed like a normal flu quickly became us living in the children's hospital for close to a month. But in that moment when everything was dark, honestly, the only silver lining was that the money that I had made from those viral videos in the past were allowing me to stay in the hospital with my wife and my daughter. I didn't have to leave and go work like I would have before. And like I said, she's completely fine now, so you don't need to worry about that situation. But funnily enough, around that same time that my daughter was in the hospital, I recorded the one video that would change everything. You see, I decided to remake that microphone video over and over and over again. And I think on the 10th time that I remade that microphone video, I finally had one hit that connected deeper than any of them had before. It is now sitting at about 13 million views. And the way that I came up with the idea for that video was just reiterating on what already worked. You see, I didn't need to rebuild the wheel. I already had one example of what was working and it was getting me money every single day. I just needed to figure out why it connected with the audience the way that it did and turn that win into another win. And I knew that video was going crazy because within minutes of posting it, I saw the views stacking up. Every single time I refreshed it, I saw another 1,000, another 1,000, another 1,000. I was talking to my wife and my best friend at the time, and I kept scrolling and seeing how much money was coming in. And I remember a 10-minute period of time went by, and I looked up and I said, I made $600 in the last 10 minutes. It honestly felt like my mind was short-circuiting because I'd never seen money like this roll in, and especially roll in so easily. It was only noon that day, and I had already made $2,500, and I remember this feeling wash over me of everything was gonna be okay. I knew our bills were gonna be paid. I knew we were gonna have groceries. I sat down down on the couch with my daughter and watched a movie. Then we went outside and we rode scooters. And I wish I could really describe the way that that feeling felt, but it wasn't about money. It was about this feeling of freedom, this feeling of I knew we were finally gonna be okay. And so after that first 40K month, I thought I'd figured out this whole thing. But the next few months weren't smooth sailing. Making this stable and consistent was a massive challenge. You see, I was still struggling with some of the emotional challenges that comes with having your daughter in the hospital. And while I'm a very driven person and normally I'm a workaholic, I sometimes just couldn't get myself to work. And so because of that, my income was really up and down. It was just depending on if I could get myself to want to make another video and make another video. I made $40,000 one month, and I think the next month I only made about 6 or 7. The next month I only made about 4. The next month I made about 6 again, and it was starting to go up again. And it was just this constant ebb and flow because honestly, it just was me that wasn't staying consistent. And I knew that. I knew that it wasn't, TikTok Shop wasn't working anymore because by this point I had been surrounded by people who were all doing well in this, and I had to really look at myself in the mirror and realize it was because I wasn't staying consistent. So I knew something that needed to change, and I wanted to figure out how I could scale this into something that could actually be consistent income for me and my family. So I decided to really lock in, and I started doing 10, 20 plus videos a day, which I don't think the average person needs to do that, but I was just so driven to figure this out that I wanted to sit down, lock in, and make it happen no matter what. You see, I think a lot of creators get stuck in this situation where they get a ton of samples because now you're finally making money on TikTok. The brands see it and they just want to send you samples. There was a point where I was getting 30 plus packages to my house every single day, but it kind of became a nightmare because then you have to make videos for all of those. And it waters down the algorithm as well because the algorithm doesn't know who to push your stuff out to. You see, there was a period of time where I was making videos about supplements and dog products and toys for my kids, and my wife was making videos about makeup on that same account, and it just got kind of crazy. And that was when I decided to start and grow some other accounts to see if I put each type of product basically on a different account, if it would do well. And what I learned is that it's not about having a specific niche for every single account, but it's making sure that each account is speaking to a certain type of person. So now I basically just run 3 accounts. I did grow about 15 accounts over the past year to be able to test this, but now I'm not using any of those. I have 3. There's one for my wife where she can talk about the products that she would actually use in her day-to-day life. There's one that I use, my main account, where I still just talk about tech, the things that I have experience and expertise in. So lighting, audio, microphones, things like that. And then I have my personal kind of sales account where I just talk about whatever I would genuinely use or I think is a cool product. On that account, I think I have a video that's at 1 or 2 million views about a pink dinosaur sweater. So it's not like if you only like tech, you can only talk about tech, but you want to kind of separate the authority videos and the stuff that you have a lot of expertise in versus the stuff that you're just excited about and products that you like. I've seen people successfully do it on one account, so I'm not saying that you have to have multiple accounts. This was just experimentation that I did personally to see what I could do. I did think it was a problem putting everything onto one account with no consistency. And what I noticed is when I started to hit the same type of products over and over again that would be interesting to the same type of person, it did well. I don't want you to think that that means if you made a video about a microphone, you can only make videos about microphones. It can be tech in general. I think a lot of people try to niche their account down too much. So I had someone ask me, they wanted their niche to be fingernail painting art, which is fine, but there's not enough products on TikTok Shop for fingernail painting art. So you're really limiting your chances of being able to have something grow. So I suggested, what if your niche was beauty? And that connected way deeper with them, and they were able to actually take that and turn it into something. So when you think about what type of account or content that you want to make, honestly, at first, I would start with just going around your house and finding the products you have, because those are products that you already use. You genuinely are using them in your own life, so it makes it easy to talk about them. I would avoid getting stuck in this sample purgatory where every single thing is just coming into your house and you feel stuck talking about all of them, because then you're also at risk of not fulfilling those samples, which can hurt your rapport with different brands. So it is definitely kind of a learning situation that you have to figure out. But I, at first, was mainly just talking about tech, then went into talking about everything, and finally, over time, ended up settling back in on something that I think is working now, where I can talk about a wide array of things. I just have a structure on how I do it. Now, hopefully that breaks down a little bit more for you of exactly how I did what I did and why, and you can see how those correlate with the amount that I made. So the first month I was talking about something I had a lot of expertise in, very passionate about, and I was going viral in it, so I made a lot of money. Then I was in my head, I was making videos about every random thing after that. I wasn't staying super consistent, and so my money went down. And then as I saw myself start to get consistent again, start to make videos that made sense to the audience again, and started to put some of that passion back into the videos, it started to work again. There's these correlations that you can see if you really start to look and you start to do the research yourself. But you have to understand that it's not just about, oh, this creator talked about a supplement, they made $100,000. It's not that simple. You see, what one person can sell, another person can't sell. The audience can tell if you're being genuine or authentic, or at very least, if you actually would use the product or it's something that you would genuinely want to talk about. If I get on and try to talk about makeup, clearly I don't wear makeup and I don't know what I'm talking about. So there's a world where I might find some virality there if I have my wife put makeup on me or I'm doing my wife's makeup, but it's probably not going to convert as well as if I'm talking about something that I have expertise in or that I'm just passionate about or think is cool. So I've also had videos do really well where I'm just talking about candy that tastes good, and it's because I liked candy and it tasted good, so it came across genuine. So there's a big difference there, and I wish I could get that through to you guys starting off at the very beginning so I can look both ways for you and tell you how to cross the road. But to be honest, the biggest mistake I see other people make is spending the money like they won the lottery somehow. For me, luckily, because I'd owned a couple businesses in the past, I did the opposite because it was never about a flashy lifestyle for me. All I ever cared about and all I still care about is helping those I love and making sure the people that are around me are cared for. And now through videos like this, I want to help other people that might be stuck in a miserable job or struggling to provide for their kids. I mean, even to this day, I drive a 1980s something car that I got from my great grandma. I couldn't tell you the first thing about fancy cars. Like if you showed me a $500,000 car or a $20,000, I couldn't tell you the difference. I am a camera and video nerd and an audio nerd more than you'll ever meet. I get way more excited by a new camera release than a fancy car or a watch. And to me, those really expensive things get me farther and farther away from what I feel like that financial freedom was. That moment that I was telling you about when I was sitting with my daughter watching a movie and realized everything was gonna be okay. Now, I'm not judging anybody that likes any of those things. If you can afford it and you wanna get a fancy car, go for it. It just doesn't do anything for me personally. You see, I wish I could describe the feeling to you of knowing that I get to see my kids grow up. I'm right there beside them. Every day when they get to go off to school, I wake up with them in the morning and I can see them go off on the bus. When they come back from school, they know I'm here. I get to do things on my time, how I wanna do them, and I'm building up enough money for us to have a very strong rainy day fund so that if anything happens, it's not like it was before, where one wrong move makes it feel like the entire tower is gonna come down. So if you're someone who's in the exact same position I was in a year ago, or you're paycheck to paycheck, or you're in a 9 to 5, you have a family that you wanna provide for, but you're just unsure of what to do, this is what I'd do. I would honestly give the TikTok Shop affiliate program a chance. It might sound silly and you feel like you could never do it, but really all you need to get started is between 1 and 5,000 followers, products that you probably already have around your house, and the willingness to talk about them. Sure, you might feel goofy. Maybe some friends from high school will see the video and make fun of you to themselves about it. But the affiliate program that's going on TikTok Shop is something all new. It's called social commerce, and it is the absolute gold rush of this time. You don't need anything to get started. It's not like those other things where you need thousands of dollars. If you have the 1 to 5,000 followers, you can go request to get into the program today, right now, and you can either buy a couple products if you want, or look around your house and find some of the products you have and start talking about them. Learn how to make videos that do well, study from top creators, and I'm telling you, one video can literally change your life. There's not much out there on YouTube teaching this stuff, so if you want to see exactly how I learned the TikTok Shop affiliate program from scratch, subscribe here because I'll be breaking it down in the next few videos. And drop a comment if you have any questions. I'll get back to all of you. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out.